Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about this. The Revoslot Alfa Romeo GTA. Comes in a lovely box. Here it is from the front. Beautiful. And here it is from the back. Just as beautiful. Really is a lovely model. And here's an ft-slottechnik chip, which I was going to show you a video of putting in because it's different from the last one I did for the Racer Sideways car. However, due to the wonders of modern technology, about 2 minutes into that video, my camera decided to refocus on absolutely nothing. So there then followed 10 minutes of very blurry video where you couldn't see anything. So we're going to have to modify the idea for this video. And we'll cover a couple of topics we didn't cover before. And I'll show you the differences between installing the chip in the Revoslot car and the previous Racer Sideways car. The first thing we're going to look at here is knowing where to drill the hole in the underneath of the car. So if we look at the one on the left, that's a standard Carrera Ford Capri. You'll see that the distance between the pivot and the LED is 12.5mm across, and vertically that's 25mm. So if we transfer those measurements across onto the Revoslot car, that little X is where we end up with the point. In truth, anywhere on that vertical line is where you could put the sensor, depending on whether or not you've got other obstructions. So let's look at the differences between the installs. On the left, the Racer Sideways BMW we did in the previous video. On the right, this is the Revoslot Alfa Romeo. They're both angle winder cars, so as you'll see, the chip is installed in pretty much the same place on both of them and stuck down with a bit of blue tack. One difference is that the Revoslot had much better wiring to the motor, so instead of taking it out and replacing it like I did with the other one, I just spliced into it. You'll notice on the Revoslot the infrared LED is held in with blue tack, whereas it is super glued into the Racer Sideways car. That's because super glue doesn't really stick quite so well to the aluminium chassis of the Revoslot car, but a bit of blue tack does hold everything in. It's brilliant. A couple of other things to note. You'll see that all four of these wheels are mounted on roller bearings. So when you're going to drill a hole there in a piece of aluminium, you want to put some masking tape across the front and the back just to stop any little bits of metal getting into those bearings. The only other difference really is that whereas there were annoying little tiny grub screws on the pickup, on this one there's just these little pop-outs. So they're quite easy to chain and you don't lose any and they don't roll away. And that's the chip change differences really. Now lastly, I'd like to talk about a few things on this car. First off, there's a little front spoiler splitter under the bumper on this. It is only held in those three places by three tiny little spots of glue. It pretty much fell out of its own accord going down the straight, as did this rear pan section, which again was only just about glued in, so I've had to glue all the way around the edges there. Not very good build quality, I don't think, from that point of view. Beautiful car, but the other thing, these two motor screws here fell out on about the second lap. They hadn't been tightened at all. Fortunately, I found them. They are very tiny, but that could really ruin your Christmas if you got one of those and lost a screw on the first lap. So I wasn't very impressed with that. Other than that, it's a brilliant car. Put it on the track. It's beautiful. It glides easily round the track. There's no surprises. It's beautifully predictable. It's, to be honest, as fast as a Carrera car with magnets, and it hasn't got magnets. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of engineering. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, of course, like, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.